Alright, ready to play Half-Life C.A.G.E.D. As far as I know, this game was made by, it's an official Half-Life game. Um, Made by Valve, one of the Valve devs, but I think they're going to explain that in the commentary if I do commentary playthrough, which I'm definitely going to do. I don't know what difficulty mode that is, but it might not be easy. These older Half-Life games were... Alright.
Hey, and welcome to a C.A.G.E.D game, a future game select game. I think there's some comedy in working on a project in tech that's almost 20 years old. And perhaps there's a subtext working for a tech like this, which would maybe read something like, simple problems with overly complicated solutions.
Yeah.
But you know, I love it. Old school stuff like this is awesome. It's so fun to work in tech like this. Something elegant about making games in these older BSP-based editors. Sometimes creating the simplest things in these old engines is just so involved and so complicated, it's awesome. Yeah, I just fucking love it. This intro here was conceived pretty much to set the mood and set the tone for the game. I wanted to give the player the slightest semblance of a background story, or perhaps lack thereof, before we throw them right into the prison cell. And I think there's something nice about starting the game off kind of mellow and on an even keel. And also, really, it was just a good opportunity to flex my muscles on scripting in this engine. And I think Laserhawk's music in the background really makes it what it is. C.A.G.E.D was originally a much smaller map, released as a collaborative project back in 2002. It's part of a project called Quantum Leap, where you jump between the creations of different level designers in one mod. And I always wanted to polish it a little bit more, do something a little more in depth with it. And so here we are 15 years later, working in dead tech, and this is what it's become.
So that was a commentary thing that started automatically. Half-Life Alyx did that too with Gabe Newell. Working in dead tech. I know this is actually a short game. I've only played it once before.
Will we ever make it out of here? I'm not certain. No! I don't want to die!
It seems like it could fit between those bars.
I've got to get out of here! Let's go. I'll stay here. Hello there.
There's a guard right there. Mouse is a little bit sensitive, but I'll deal with it. Oh, it's the V-Sync messing with me. That's what it is. Video, V-Sync. I don't have a special monitor for that. I'd rather take tearing than mouse input delay. So I think this one already played?
I think something that's not often talked about in games is the building of tension and the building of suspense. The different elements of foreshadowing and layers that come together to build a mood for the player. I'm not talking about your normal foreshadowing, like the palm tree sunset picture on the wall of the prison, which is a nod to the finale to C.A.G.E.D, but to all the little pieces that come together to make this cell a memorable experience to the player. The dialogue in the player's sentence, the sound effects in the cell, and the visual effects around it.
What we need is subtitles. Or we're going to be putting up with really loud music.
So all build to a climactic escape.
Did you understand that last
In the original release of C.A.G.E.D, the intro cell was rather bland. The player turned the valve on the pipe and it blew a hole in the floor, but the prison didn't really react. It didn't come to life, it didn't engage the player, and it certainly didn't care that the player was escaping. In reworking the scene, the goal was exactly that, was to bring the prison to life, to have it react to you escaping, and to try and stop you. And this type of reaction is important. It shows the player the consequences of the world in which they're playing. And it sure as hell motivates them to get out of their prison cell and jump down the hole.
My God, what are you doing? I certainly hope you know what you're doing.
Oh, I don't. I don't know what I'm doing at all.
sound. What is it? Oh no.
It's gonna blow. Oh, look, it expanded.
Oh dear!
Oh my gosh. Ow! Did I die? Or am I stuck? I think I'm stuck. Let's get unstuck real quick. Or am I stuck? I guess not. I think I'm stuck on this piece of debris here. Just load that up real quick. Well, that was quick.
Will we ever make it out of here? I'm
I
not
don't
certain.
know.
No! I don't want to die! Ah!
There might be some bugs.
Ah! I've got to get out of here!
I could just... Come on.
Hello there.
Hi.
My God, what are you doing?
Don't mind the
I certainly
noises.
hope you know what you're doing.
Let's see this again. Like the pipe expanded.
That sound. What is it? Oh no.
Did they switch models to do that, or? Oh, blew that dude up. Alright, this time I'm gonna stay away from that pipe till after the grenade explodes. Yeah, there's the grenade. Alright, what's this guy?
The toilet plunger here is a nod towards the mate.
Hold on, let's turn. We'll hear about the toilet plunger. Music's gonna have to be loud as shit, isn't it?
Game Roger Wilco. One of the things I always liked about Roger Wilco was that he referred to himself as a sanitation engineer, which of course is just a nice way of calling yourself a janitor. There's something about those games that always intrigued me. I don't know, maybe it's because it was that kind of brutal era of games where the slightest mistake at some critical moment would cost you the game. Leisure Suit Larry's from the same era. I mean, that game can almost be even worse. I mean, one of the first things you do in that game is you're plopped in front of a bar, and there's a street in front of you. You try and walk in the street, and bam, game over. Why would you walk in the street? A car hits you and runs you down. All those games were trial and error. Everything was out to kill you, ruin your fun. I don't know, it's a guilty pleasure, I guess.
This is like the atmosphere and everything. They did a good job with this one. It feels like a less buggy than the other Half-Lives that I've been playing through recently. Getting a bit old, those games. Little bugs everywhere. Look, a rat. What's up, rat? Confined space. Yeah, they would do that. Can't go up that way. Like the soldiers know where I am, the guards, I mean. I'm gonna save right here. I know I'm gonna fail this jump. Oh, I didn't. Haha. What have you got for us?
Incident. Custodian. Please. Services. Requested. In. Cell block. In. Units. 3.
One of my favorite movies of all time is Escape from Alcatraz. And one of the best scenes in that movie is when they finally escape. They break out of the back of their prison cells, and they're climbing up the pipe and ductwork between the different prison blocks, going up to the roof, escaping. But you can see that they're in this space where they really shouldn't be. They need to be quiet. It's claustrophobic. Things are unfamiliar. It's not a livable space. You know, and as you're watching this, you're not sure what's going to happen. Are they going to get caught? Is the prison guards going to come out and catch them in the act? It's suspenseful and it's exciting. And I think that's a really interesting position to put the player in. Put them someplace where they're not sure if they should be there. What are they supposed to do? Are they doing the right thing? Is somebody going to come out and shoot them in the face? I don't know. They don't know. And I think that type of suspense is what makes games interesting and keeps the action going and keeps the fun going.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I'm in a game and I'm not sure what's going to happen next, heck, I'll take that. I'd love to play a game like that. And that's what's going on with the jump at the beginning of this section. But people say they hate jumps to ladders, and that they suck and they're no fun. And I don't know, maybe they're right, but I like them. But this jump reinforces that anything can happen in the game. You're set up to expect to be able to bridge a gap. That's something that this game will challenge you with, so that you can move on and climb up a ladder, and that you just have to learn to master jumping. And then in the next section, you break the damn pipe you're standing on and throw you down in a pit full of leeches. How's that for meeting your expectations?
Oh. Oh, he was... Is there leeches in the water?
This is one of those situations where there's definitely complicated solutions to simple problems. At least in a modern game engine, this puzzle would be pretty simple to set up with some physics. But Half-Life 1 doesn't have any physics. Gold Source doesn't support that. At least to the respect that this puzzle tries to fake. So here, it's just a big smoke and mirrors show trying to fake that with a bunch of crazy enemies. The two boxes that are trapped at the bottom are just two trains. They move on a predetermined track. Now the funny part about how this grate works in releasing the boxes is that behind the scenes, hidden in the wall, there's a laser beam. And this laser beam is shooting into a brick. And on the other side of the brick is a target. And as you turn the little handle, the brick starts to move. When the brick is able to move just far enough, the laser beam passes and hits the target on the other side. The laser beam does damage, and when it hits that target, it causes an event to fire, telling the box to move and float upwards. Now, all of this is possible because there's a special entity that allows the movement of a piece of geometry to be tied in to relationship to a turning handle. It lets this block move in conjunction with that. And so simply by adjusting the relationship of that laser beam and target to this moving block, you can time it so that an event will fire the moment that block moves out of the way at a very specific time. And in this case, causing the buoyant boxes that are trains tied to these tracks to then be fired to move. Now, disregarding the complicated scripting to get those boxes to float up, you then have the entity work to track their state. So once the player has released these boxes, there's special entities that are tracking whether the water is at its lowered or raised position and which state those boxes would be. Now, if the boxes have already been released, they're told to actually float and move to another position. Because of course they're not physics-based. They don't float. They're just trains on a rail. Now, if they haven't been released by the player yet, and they raise the water, then the tracks of those trains are changed. So when the player releases the boxes for the first time, they float all the way to the highest position. And all of that's just part of the scripting involved to get a simple puzzle where the player pulls a lever and some boxes float up to the surface.
That is a very complicated way of doing things. And they still made it look like there's actual physics here. Somehow. Let's see if we get more water. Water, 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 water. neutral. Make the water go down. Or up. Up is good. Up is good too. I think they used a puzzle like this in Half-Life 2. Similar. My assault plunger. Spooky. What's gonna try to kill me in here? Turret unwellness? The turret unwellness center. Whoa, there's the turret. Okay.
Warning. Turret prisoner wellness system offline.
So does that shut off all the turrets? I hope so. Go in here. Oh, hey, Hightail, hey. Derp tuber. Derp derp. VHS tapes. IPCS test tape. Get some generic 80s rock, maybe 70s. Is there a point to coming in here? Trustees cannot be trusted. Oh, there's soap on a rope. What am I supposed to do in here? Maybe this is just an Easter egg room. Did I listen to this one?
This is one of my favorite little sections of C.A.G.E.D, behind the scenes in the walls of the prison. A lot of it goes back to some of the things I really enjoy the most about prison movies and
Riot
escapes,
alarm.
is seeing the prisoner figure out how to probe the system for weaknesses, how they're working around security, feeling uncomfortable, not sure whether they're going to get caught, or how exactly they're going to escape. And in this section, I tried to recreate that feeling, presenting the player with an unknown number of choices and dangers, making them test the security and find the areas where it's weak. I think a lot of games, a lot of modern games, have a really hard time making the player feel uncomfortable, and I'm not sure why that is. Games often would handle the player through a section like this, or not allow the player to feel uncomfortable, or not allow them to not know what to do. It's really a shame that we've seen a trend of games moving away from this, because it's a really exciting feeling, really emotional
I don't know why I
feeling
pushed
for
that
the
button.
player to have. And it's something that keeps the player from feeling like they're moving linearly from A to B, and instead solving problems in their own way with their own creativity.
Does that unlock another area over here? This way now? I don't think I went this way. No, I haven't. Doesn't seem like it's safe. I need the access card.
Secure cell blocks.
That's it. Pistol. now we're ready to fight. Level change ahead. Gotcha. So I should hear that commentary node while I'm in here.
There's a great little trick here in the armory with all the weapons hanging on the wall. Half-Life doesn't support actually positioning any of the weapon models in any position you like. They basically come lay on the floor and that's it. So in the armory there's a bunch of weapons hidden under the floor that you can't see. And when you pick them up, they're set to trigger different models that are positioned on the wall and turn them off to give the simulation that you've picked them up off the wall.
So the models are
There's
still
all these little
there.
tricks like this in the Half-Life engine that you kind of have to do because it's old and it couldn't support all the things that a modern game.
It's like programming in Unity.
But I like all of that. All that's texture is what makes working in an older game engine fun and interesting. There's different challenges to overcome. And I like finding those creative ways of solving those simple problems with overly complicated solutions. Across the room there's the lockdown status board with a little callback to the cell that you escaped from. And I always
Right,
like
progress
that.
and cell
Something
blocks,
from
turret
the
system
original
offline.
C.A.G.E.D. And across the other side we have the priority alerts. And I always like to try and add little touches of humor. I don't know. Gruel sustenance pump error floats my boat. I think it's funny.
Okay, let's keep going. Guards only. I'm not a guard, aw.
One of the little quirks of Gold Source when Half-Life first shipped and mods for Half-Life were new
Oh,
was
ACDC.
that getting music into a mod into the Gold Source engine wasn't really possible. The music for Half-Life shipped on the disc. It was on the CD. And as you'd play the game, the disc would be spun up and the game would fire off to play some music and it would pick a track from the CD. It was a dual burnt CD. It had music on one half and data on the other. So if you wanted to have high quality music, you couldn't put an MP3 on there. MP3s were new. Napster was a thing. Like they were a new thing in the
I
world of
remember that.
technology and consumerism. So if you wanted to have music in your Half-Life level, you put it in a wave, and it was compressed down to 8-bit
Napster.
mono, and it sounded absolutely terrible. Now, because Half-Life played the music off the CD, you couldn't distinguish between what CD was in the drive. It would just play a track from whatever disc happened to be in there. And back then, I shipped a mod called Big Lolly. And a year or so after it shipped, I got an email from a guy who had played it. He said he really loved the game. He loved using the giant lollipop to smash gingerbread men, but he was even more excited that the game featured a soundtrack to AC/DC. And isn't it amazing that AC/DC's his favorite band too? I never had the heart to tell him he just left his CD in the drive.
Listening to AC/DC. Gosh, I'm already dead. Come get me. Man, enemies have ridiculous health in these games. Got him. Ah! Did I kill him? Nope. Oh, terrible grenades. He's gonna kill me, watch. Nope, guess not. got some crossbow ammo. I like it when they foreshadow future weapons you might get like that. So I'm gonna get a crossbow.
Attention. Incident. Personnel report to cell log.
Let's see what's in here. Fallout shelter. Not a very good one. Pull my card from earlier work, yep. Okay. Another one, another commentary node.
I really do think that playing with expectations is one of the best ways to make games interesting. And playing with those expectations brings out interesting
You're right, Hytale, I need to save.
emotions in the player. The elevator ride here is a place where often you'd see someone set up a cheap scare with some baddies or some kind of trap in the elevator. And I chose not to do it. It seemed like a great place to crank the tension and suspense to 11, and at the same time give the player some downtime and a breather from all the action. Inaction can be just as interesting as action, and the uneasiness created in the player waiting for the elevator ride and the unknown at the end of it is what I think makes a really interesting emotional response. It's one of these sections in the game where I think of a producer or publisher or a playtesting group from your run through the area. You get back some lame bug about how nothing's going on here.
Did that interrupt him?
Improper
I think that did.
operation of exercise blocks will result in elimination of accumulated dual credits.
Where's my mandatory escort? Got him. Maybe I won't interrupt this one.
I love fucking detailing spaces like this. You have so many opportunities in the ceilings to create a story and make the environment feel bigger than it actually is. You'll see a lot of spaces where people just kind of cap off the top of a room and move on in the way that they've detailed an area. And I love like adding all these different little pipes and ductwork and telling a story with it. In the next hallway, there's this whole sense that there's a larger system of catwalks and passageways. The facility is much more grand than the player is experiencing themselves. And making these areas gives you all these amazing little problems to solve. The light streaming in through the windows is a hack. It's like the biggest fucking hack in the universe. There's actually no light, of course, on the other side of the windows. And the windows are just illuminated by emissive panels of the front of the window. And the God ray shooting through are a separate set of geometry. And the reflection of light on the opposite side of the wall isn't even run by the lighting pass in the engine. It's a separate sheet of polygons that are ever so slightly glowing to give the illusion that the light has come through the window. And I love figuring out all these different ways to make those things come to life. And that's what makes spaces like this so exciting to work on. You can create a living world that the player can pass through.
Missed him. Whoa, who's shooting at me? Can't quite figure out how to aim at me. Can I let them out?
Loss detected.
Let's do that fight again.
Why are you leaving?
I just wanted to see how far I could make it. God, aim hard. grenades without a physics engine. How do you do grenades? Do I literally have to draw an arc from the player and where it's gonna land? Like, you don't have a physics engine, but you still pulled it off like you do have one. We're in the showers. Yeah, I happen to know that there's maybe the get him. Just throw another. Man, they're throwing grenades like crazy, aren't they? Ah, he got me. God. This game is relentless. I basically have to try to make it through this scene without getting hit, really. Why kill the scientist, jerk?
Blood loss detected.
Got hit a little bit. Okay, just for the sake of not having to play the same section over and over. Did I get him? Apparently not.
Rodent control.
Ah.
In subsection.
I heard crunch. I heard a crunch. Think I got him? Think I got them? Making it a little further. Surprise! Soup flies. Revolver. Can I drink? I need health. Hey, it did give me a little health. 2 health. I'll drink all the sodas.
The guard room here is an example of loopback gameplay, which is essentially a way to telegraph to the player where they can go before they actually go there. And it's also a way to give the player tools to orient themselves in the universe in which they're playing. So here the player can see into the guard booths, into some of the areas they're going to get access to once they find their way through the shower room. And if they happen to go through the shower room before they actually enter this space, they can see an area which they didn't get encountered. And later on from the guard towers, they can come back into this space to have an additional experience. And I've always felt this is one of the best items in a designer's toolbox. One of the crucial things about it is it helps give the player that feeling that they're not on a rail and that their destiny is in their own hands. There's like this magical point in first-person shooters and games that require some amount of puzzle work and critical thinking, where when the player solves a puzzle or gets from A to B or meets a challenge, they feel like they got themselves there. They were the ones that figured out how to get through that challenge. And they
Makes
feel a
sense to
sense of
me.
excitement and ownership over that solution. When really in reality there was only one solution to begin with. And a loopback which shows the player the breadth of their options and what their experience could or might be is a critical way to create that experience for the player.
More plungers. More tactical assault plungers.
Elevator bank D02.
Chapter 3, the yard. Hopefully I'll get some health. More bad guys. So I'm one touch. Let's see if I can get through this.
Attention. Control.
Damn. It would help if I didn't miss. Yeah, it would help if I didn't miss. Revolver ammo. Guard towers 1 and 2. Ooh, health. Nice. Save right now. For every scrap of health that they give me. But no, do nothing. Are you kidding me? Really? Okay. Okay. Stand there and let me shoot you. Whoa. Stay on the ladder. I do hate ladders. Just gonna stare at me. Is there like a glass? Oh, he said taking shots, so I am hitting him. There, finally he's dead. That's guard tower 2, probably. Yay, more health. Save again. You know I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta run out here.
In the original version of C.A.G.E.D from 2002, the battle here in the prison yard was the finale. It was the end of the level. And it was always like a marriage that was never consummated. It just didn't quite hit the mark for what it needed to be. It was never designed as a proper finale. It never pushed the player to that peak, to that limit. So now it's used as a fight before the finale, and it sets the player up, and it foreshadows that there's greater challenges still yet to come. My favorite thing about this space is that it changes. The player's given the ability to explore it in a hostile setting. Once you eliminate the guards from the towers, you can move around the space and get a feel for it. And later on, it completely changes what the prison control becomes. And I really enjoy a space like this. It's a jungle gym. It's a real adventure. And I love how it works now as the finale. After you go through the cargo doors, you hear that music, and you just know shit's gonna get fucking crazy. Another personal favorite part of this space in the yard here is kind of just what it is. It's a prison yard that's located next to the exit to the prison. I don't really know what kind of prison would actually do that, but I think it's pretty hilarious. I don't know, maybe it comes from movies like The Shawshank Redemption or other prison films where you kind of see the guys hanging out in the yard and the bus rolls in and the fresh fish get off. I don't know, they're usually in close proximity. But I'm not sure the front door is ever actually part of the wall of the prison yard.
Not sure where I need to be. Is there a button in here? Disposal flurry. Sounds delicious. when I hit the buttons and... Did I miss a button in the towers? Maybe I missed a button in the towers. I'm not entirely sure. Was I able to crawl through this? No. Maybe I missed something. I'll jump through the area the shower lets me get to. Back through here again. Must have missed a button. Does this button do something? Yeah, okay. Just have to come through here again.
Attention. North Elk Horizon. Exit.
I hear a truck. Oh crap, did not mean to jump out like that. That's why players hate ladders, by the way, you were wondering. That ladder just threw me out the window. Gotta crouch as soon as you're off the ladder. Come on. Come on. Ladders suck. I don't really want to... Raining grenades! Oh, this is a hard game.
Attention. North Elk Horizon.
I don't really want to fight them from that angle anyway. Let's see if I can get a better angle to fight them from by backtracking just a little bit. That's the other tower. Maybe I should kill the guys in the towers first, because the one did spawn up there, right? So, let's go up there. Rid of that guy. Run through here. Oh, no. Can I not get back where I was? I guess not. Let's go to guard tower 2. Clear anybody in that. Let's see who appeared in guard tower 2. Nobody? Oh, just chilling out. If I take advantage of their bad AI, it makes it easier. I made him drop a grenade on himself, I think. These older... I know these older games are hard, but they're much more satisfying to win. To actually win. When you finally do something right and actually win. All the ammo I can get. This, yeah, ending the game here would have been a little bit anticlimactic, huh? Oh no. I was gonna fall back to a known safe spot. Jet boat. Music. Oh crap! The chopper's here! Ah! Whew. Armor control. Oh, cool! How'd you do that? That's cool. I did miss a commentary note back there. I'll have to go back over. Made him drop that grenade at his feet. Yeah, I missed a commentary node back there. See if I can backtrack to it. Probably have to take care of the helicopter in order to see if I can get to that commentary node. Can I even hurt the helicopter? Let's see if I can activate it from here. Yeah, that was regretful. Maybe if I wait till the helicopter flies away. I don't think I did it. Oh well. Not gonna hear that one. There's some health.
The sequence here with the car shooting
Attention. Alert.
I wish I could hear you, dude.
I remember when I first saw that, just gushing over me. Until how awesome it was. The lights screen through and holy shit. It's like at the time that effect was just fucking mind-blowing. That of course is like super primitive. It's
Yeah.
still effective, I like it. There's a visceral reaction to that effect. Impending carnage or threat that's going to come at you. I felt like the really great spot to throw it into Cage. In this control room, there used to be a number of videos for ammunition for the rocket launcher, and in testing we found that players were confused as to why that was there. They felt like there should be a rocket launcher close by, but they kept searching and scouring the first two floors of the complex, and they would never proceed up the ladder to find the rocket launcher.
I haven't seen the crossbow yet either.
And it's interesting because usually it's nice to use or shadow that movie experience with a mountain launcher or a rocket launcher that you know is to come. In this case, it was just too early. The foreshadowing was just not made enough, not close enough to the rocket launcher. So the decision was made to pull the ammo next to the rocket launcher itself. So it wasn't a more appropriate place for it to exist. I'm not sure I'm quite happy with the control room and how it plays. I don't know. Something about pressing the button. Seems like there needs to be a puzzle here. Wait until the puzzle to activate the switch in the console. But the whole idea with this level is to keep the pace, keep the player moving, keep action. And anything beyond what was here slowed that down, and it didn't have quite the same feeling. Still not sure if I like it.
Okay, I see where I'm supposed to go. I just gotta wait for the helicopter to fly away again. And try to make it up to the ladder before it comes back and kills me. Alright, hopefully that chopper doesn't come back.
There's this term that was thrown around watching something. Swiss cheese effect. Have combat or situation going on.
I'm gonna have to
It's just
pull
too
the audio
much
files for your commentary,
being thrown at.
and
There's too many points of danger. Visually, visual fidelity of what the player sees is
Edit them over.
threats. I mean, that's what was originally going on with this.
Alright, got the rocket.
Originally, there were way more enemies here. There was guards themselves pulled up in generals. Automated guns were mining the player. It was just too much to handle. It was much too difficult for players. And it resulted in players dying and retrying.
Got him.
Fast-paced escape, and a finale of kicking ass and explosions. And it highlights an important point, which is designed by elimination can often be much more successful than iterating on dead content that didn't pan out. There's a saying that players won't miss what doesn't ship, and it's absolutely true. Sometimes taking things out of a game, or things that aren't working, is so much more successful and leads to better ideas and better gameplay than trying to stick with an idea that was failed from its concept. One of the other problems, I just love the music on the doors open here. It just makes you feel like you want to just charge out, guns blazing. It's exactly the feeling that I wanted to have come through in this finale. The helicopter coming by, keeping the pressure on the player the whole time, feeling like you can't stop. I often associate different music with the different projects I've worked on. It's interesting, the first game I worked on for the Xbox, Men of Valor, I always start thinking about German techno, because I was really into industrial music at the time. And for Team Fortress 2, working on Hightower, I think the whole time I listened to Depeche Mode. So every time I hear one of those songs, I always think about developing that way. I think about the time I started at Valve was when I moved into synthwave and outrun music. And that's when I found out about Laserhawk and really started liking his music. I think I bought a couple of his first albums, and I just thought he was great. Other artists that I got. I recorded some of Laserhawk's stuff to a cassette tape, because that's all I had in my Volvo. And I'd make these trips, driving from Seattle to Portland, to go play pinball tournaments, and I'd listen to his music the whole way down there. And one day out of the blue, I got this email from some guy named Garrett Hayes, and as I'm reading it, he says, "Hey, I'm looking through my receipts for my Laserhawk purchases. I saw your name on there. Are you Kaylee George, like the one who plays a bunch of pinball? I'm really into pinball, and I've seen all your videos." And it turns out that Laserhawk's a pinball fan, and I'm a pinball fan. We both play competitive pinball, and we never knew it. And as we got to talking, he's telling me he's my
Another helicopter. Alright, now that I know that there's a helicopter coming. That guy. Switch to rocket launcher. Where are you at? Is it coming? You just don't have any time? Damn. Does it pause shooting? Yeah, you do have time, but... You guys all want to die just to stop me?
Activated. Prism. Thermonuclear auto-destruct engaged.
Oh, great.
Will commence.
That sounds ridiculous.
Seconds. 9.
Will it actually blow up?
5.
Let's go. I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh man, if I had a cigarette boat, I'd like to think I'd ride off into the sunset blasting Laserhawk. The whole idea for this scene came from this song, A Promise, and it just felt so fitting to have the game end in some sort of Miami Vice cutscene. I'll shut up now. Let's listen to that awesome track. Thanks for playing.
really see the Miami Vice style anymore, huh? Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't know what game I should play next. Oh, hey, there's more. Nuclear Sunrise. Refreshment Wrestler. Flatline Fiasco. Refreshment Wrestler. I guess that's it. Well, thanks for watching.